because my Tuesday call did not work for some reason. So is it recording on your screen, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. All right. So today we're gonna light a fire here. I want you guys to hit your goals. And again, the reason I asked for this little icebreaker is because I know that sometimes we have the right direction, but we don't always follow through with that direction because something pulls us away, time management, excuses, things that come up and take us away from our purpose, our wants, our needs. So I want to touch on that a little bit, and then we're going to talk about goal setting, how to implement your goals and make sure that they happen. All right. So no more excuses, no more laying yourself down. So if you've ever been on a fitness journey before where you haven't followed through or you did okay for a bit and then you fell completely off track, we want to avoid that. So we're going to dive into a bunch here and we're going to make a game plan for you. Sound good to everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, good. Awesome. All right. So often people miss out on hitting their goals because they don't have, as I said, right direction or the follow through. Most people, when I ask them what was the limiting factor, why didn't they hit their goals, what happened, often the answer that I receive is either lack of motivation, right? And they can't continue, or willpower. These are two very big ones that I hear often. Um, these often don't come. We often have to dig deep for these things for willpower. Willpower is like a battery. We don't always have willpower, so we need to have discipline. Same with oh, who's here? Hi.
Hello,
What's your name?
my name is 何一静，桃子。
K2Fit.
嗯，
Ah, okay. Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. The other one, as I said, lack of motivation also comes down to, our decision making is also like a battery. Sometimes we don't want to go to the gym and motivation fades. It's our discipline that gets us to the next level. So when I talk about, has anyone ever actually lacked motivation here and skipped the gym because they were like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, like, yes. Yes, for sure. Um, and then there's always like the wants versus needs. What do we want out of our day? What do we need from our food, from healthy living, right? So that's always going to be a factor in this. So when you're doing decision making, I'm just going to say blank for the thing because it could be a different thing for everyone. So is blank, is it bringing you closer to your goal, or is blank taking you further away from succeeding? This is always a question you can ask yourself in almost every scenario. What you choose to put on your plate, whether you go to the gym or not, whether you go to happy hour drinks instead of hitting the gym, is the thing that you're choosing taking you away from your goals or taking you closer to your goals? So again, I'm going to ask for some group participation here. You can just write it in the chat, or you can raise your hand if you want to share. What has been your major excuse? I'm going to call it an excuse, guys, because sometimes it is. It may not be an excuse for you, but let's just label it for right now, okay? What has been your biggest excuse for not hitting goals before? Write it in the chat. Did you lose motivation? Could you not maintain eating healthy? You're too busy? Work? What's the biggest thing that stops you from hitting your goals or had before? Because it's not going to anymore. Sasha, hectic schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. Work, for sure.
Joe, for you
No, I
as well?
don't have a job, so that's not a problem.
Okay. So before it was a hectic schedule. Now
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
No, not so much. No, I've gone back to school, so it's
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Also, consistency with food planning. Okay. Yes, I think I read that from you before, actually. All right. So we know what's hindered us, our excuses that we've made or barriers that have stopped us from seeing progress before, right? So now I want to talk about the all or nothing plan that I see people go on, okay? and what all or nothing, like this attitude where, I'm going to start Monday and I'm going to start all these new habits that I've never had before. And Monday's my clean slate, for example. I'm sure everyone's done this to an extent in some way, shape, or form. New job, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to do the best. I'm going to do, whatever it is. But generally with diets, that's what happens. And I've seen it time and time again. People overload their plates, and I don't mean like food here. I just mean they do all the change at once. It's like on Monday, I'm going to start my workout regimen. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to say no to social drinks. I'm not going to go for happy hour. Many, many decisions, changes all at one time. Okay. Has anyone done this before? Where they've actually like set out on a Monday to be like super strict? Joe, no? No? Sasha, can maybe? Maybe. Okay. Even if you haven't. All right. I'm just going to talk about a pattern that I've seen before. Okay. So say Monday's the start. Oh, awesome. There's your camera. Hey. So when people go in all or nothing and they set themselves up for a clean slate, like, all right, I'm starting the 10-day challenge on Monday. This is actually why we started officially the workouts on Wednesday, because I wanted people to like get into the rhythm of it and have 2 days where they just were thinking about what they were going to change and do. But I've seen this before. Okay. Clean slate starts on Monday. So people on Wednesday, Thursday go, oh, okay, I'm gonna go on a diet on Wednesday or on Monday. So that means on Friday, Saturday, Sunday that I need to eat all the Doritos and drink all the beers and have pizza, and I need a burrito, and I'm gonna go out with so-and-so, and we're gonna have shots because I won't have any later because on Monday I'm not gonna do any of the things, right? It happens. If it hasn't happened to you, good. If it hasn't happened to you, fantastic. But I've been coaching since 1999. I've seen it happen, even if it's not to that like huge extent. But the clean slate Monday idea, what you can expect if you make all the decisions on one day in such a lump series of changes and what's the word? Yeah, new decisions, right? New habits that you're gonna do from this date. What you can expect from this is overwhelmed by changes, okay? That your decision-making process is gonna be much harder. You're gonna get fatigued. That's why we lose willpower, okay? Because you're trying to choose exactly perfectly, and then one thing goes by the wayside, and that's a no-go right there. And you set yourself up for failure because of the overwhelm. There's too many things to do at one time. Decision fatigue. So after indulgence, making a lot of healthy choices is going to be much harder on the body because of cravings and mood swings. So if you've ever done something like a sugar challenge, for example, we're actually doing this in our private coaching community right now, where we cut out sugar. But if you ever just started cutting out all the sugar that you eat, or caffeine, has anyone ever cut out something like caffeine, sugar, carbs, like one certain thing? Sasha, you have all of the things. Okay, you did the whole.
All of the above.
Okay, so what happens when?
To be fair, right now, I'm just doing it gradually. I'm still insisting on a lot of restrictions, but I'm doing them gradually.
Yes. And you've been working on it for a few months now though, right? So you're making these like steps and changes as you go. Like you didn't just do it all in one
Strictly
lump.
speaking, yeah. Like
Yeah.
no sugar, almost 260 days.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Good job. I'm doing the opposite right now. Just had twins, so we're not like doing anything. My go-to right now is having an ice cream a day. I'm like, I never have. I said to I got not every day. I've had 3 ice creams in 2 weeks. I never have ice cream, but like I'm like, oh, it's our guilty pleasure right now. I guess we're just gonna eat ice cream. I'm becoming a full sweet. But if you have cut sugar, I'm gonna use sugar, caffeine or bread out, your body goes into detox and your mood swings because your body is now detoxing and you're craving and you're going through withdrawals actually because of this this consistent food additive that you've had always. When you pull it back, your body goes and creates this withdrawal symptom as it would from like alcohol or drugs. It's scary when you think of it this way. So which is again the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I don't think you should cut everything all at one time, right? Yes, we want to cut out mass amounts of excess sugar that we have, except for ice cream a day, apparently. But otherwise, go, just cut them out. So cravings, mood swings. And then if you give in to, or if you skip the gym or give in to one of the things that you've cut because you're doing healthy behavior, then the guilt and shame comes in because you failed yourself, because you put all these parameters on your well-being and one goes by the wayside, even the tiniest bit, and you're not going to feel good about yourself. So this cycle is something we want to get out of. So how do we succeed at making healthy changes? Gradual, okay? Not all or nothing. Gradual changes, choosing one thing. One of my clients who lost 70 pounds, I've featured her in my TEDx talk. The only thing she did when she first started with me coaching in K2Fit was that she cut out pop. Like that was the only thing, caffeine. So like Coke and caffeine, which is a big thing actually to get, as I said, cutting out something like that, your body does go through withdrawals, but that was her thing. She cut out coffee, caffeine. And she did that, I think for 4 or 6 weeks before she did the next step. And maybe that's a long time for some people. You don't have to do the 4 or 6 weeks, but one thing at a time so you can you stack these habits. I'm just gonna veer right for a second here. That's left for you guys, but whatever. Side note, stacking habits are really great to do on top of habits you already have. So for example, if you brush your teeth every day, everyone brush your teeth every day? Yeah, okay, good. Woo! That was a close call, guys. So you brush your teeth every day, but you also want to start taking supplements, a multivitamin, a fish oil, etc. But the fish oil, multivitamins are in your cupboard, and every other day or every third day, you're like, oh crap, I need to remember to take my vitamins. I want to take vitamins. I need to remember, oh crap, they're in, they're above the fridge. Put them right next to your toothbrush. That's like just one thing that I do that made it super simple because it's like a no fail. You're doing one habit that's automatic that you already have since you're a child. And then you're like, oh, my supplement's right there. Boom. So you just like make it as easy as possible for you to stack habits, right? Another quick one, choose a gym. If you guys go to the gym, the closest gym to you. I don't care if it has all the best equipment, choose the closest gym, especially when you live in a place like Sweden where it's dark from 3 p.m. Not right now, it's beautiful. But when I was here in winter and it'd get light at 11 a.m. ish and the sun would go like, so the sun normally goes like this, guys. In Sweden, it's like, so it's like dark, kind of hazy, dark again, and you don't want to do anything. You're like, oh my God, it's exhausting. It's cold, it's dark, it's windy. Choose the gym closest to you. That way you're not going to be so deterred getting there. Okay. Stack habits. I'm gonna keep going, guys. Any questions though first? Questions or thoughts? All good? Okay. Sasha? All good? Okay. Okay. All right, so gradual changes, small achievable goals, right? Set realistic goals, which we're actually going to very much dive into right after this, okay? So if you've never worked out before and you start doing an hour, oh, I've seen people do this, oh gosh, an hour a day on like a run. They haven't run in like 4 years and they're like, I'm going to go on a 10K. It's like, no, you're going to go on a 200-meter walk. Like you're just gonna start slow and work your way up. Okay, so understand your limitations, even though the mindset wants to like jump from here to, you know, beyond. We have to understand that our bodies need time to adjust. Often people do this in the gym, guys, where they will pick up a weight, and because we have the force, we can do it. I'm not using the word like Jedis. We have the force, and we can push the weight or pull the weight, no problem. But our joints, ligaments, the small muscles that are supporting us aren't warmed up and aren't used to that. And that's why for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you can feel this muscle soreness because you haven't actually gotten light enough. So if you're just starting with weights, I know, Joe, you're just starting, right, mate? What weights did you buy again? 4, did we say, or 3?
I think we went 4 because
4,
it came in 4 and 6.
4 and 6. Yeah.
You said,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we can get 5 ones.
Yeah, so we start there, we start low, and we work our way up from there. Some exercise might seem really easy, doesn't matter. Just getting used to the motion technique is
Yeah,
the most important
that's
thing
really
anyway.
important. I
Okay.
struggle to lift my laptop some days.
Oh, yeah. So yeah. Are you doing walking lunges with them, or what are you doing with your lap? All right, team. Another thing to help you not go all in, but make sure that you're hitting goals is mindfulness for yourself and a supportive community. Okay. K2Fit, we have your back all the time. But even if it's not me or if it's not the community, find people that are like-minded that will bring you up, support you in achieving goals, and also pick you up when you have a slip, because there are going to be days when your kids or your friends have a birthday and you're like, yeah, I want cake. And that's okay. And it shouldn't feel bad. But if you feel bad, you have people around you saying, it's okay. Like, enjoy the cake. Don't feel bad. That kind of ties in with the second one or the last one I wanted to talk. Be kind to yourself. So forgiveness, flexibility, right? We are not robots, even though I joke about Sweden sometimes. I don't know, Asa, if you've seen that. I joke because Sweden's so like Elizabeth's so like it's a beautiful thing in so many ways. So when you slip up or whatnot, just remember we're not machines. We have all these decisions that we make every single day, and sometimes it's not the one that you necessarily want to, but it happens, and you're like, ah, yeah, I probably ate too many Doritos. I don't know why I use Doritos, but everyone knows what a Dorito is, right? A chip, tacos, chips. Yeah, I don't know. Nachos. So team, so we're going to try and keep out of these pitfalls and remind you guys, if you need support anytime, hi, please reach out to me. Okay. Also the community, but if you need personal support, just ask. I'm always happy to help. Question for you guys. What do you think has affected you most in your fitness journeys before? Have you been too hard on yourself? Is it that it could still just be the one before? Like maybe it was just food, like you couldn't maintain your food planning. Were your goals too big? Did you hurt yourself? Is there anything that stuck out for you guys or want to share?
I think for me, I mean, I've been carrying, 5 kilos more than I should have done for, since I was 25.
Okay.
But I don't feel so strong about that because I'm healthy. I can carry stuff. I can walk. So I've not really felt too bad about it, to be honest.
Good. Fantastic. That's
So
awesome.
I'm kind of self-confident in myself, and I have a good life. So like 10 years ago, I wanted to, become stronger. And I wanted to, by becoming stronger, get more healthy and have a better shape of my body. So at that time, we started little by little to train. And then I had a friend who drove me into CrossFit.
Okay.
And I've actually stayed there. So the training has kind of built also the self-confidence.
Good.
because I know that I can handle it. But there are several things I cannot, succeed with, of course. But it's fun, and it's more built on what you actually can do than what you can't do. But
Fantastic.
at some point, and 50 plus with some of that coming as well, I just feel that now it's the time to kind of shape up.
Okay.
And I don't go so much up and down in weight either, but it's so hard to get it done. It's so hard to really stick to the plan and to avoid everything else and really keep the consistency.
Yes. Okay. What's on the plan have you tried before that you find hard? Like what plan did you attempt at?
But I've tried earlier on. I've tried to kind of be more, diet focused, which I don't really believe in a way. Not like diet that you have to avoid everything and. I'm raised as you eat potato and you eat salad and you eat meat and fish and normal stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like the thinking that you train a lot and you don't eat. So it fits me to actually, eat.
Yeah.
But in one way or another, I think it's really hard to keep up with. And we like to cook. And then my husband is even worse. He's not here, but he is really, he has this sugar tongue.
Right.
And he's real good at cooking, and it's easily done to have some cheese before dinner just because you were hungry.
Yep.
You have a drink, you have some chips. It's not a lot, but it's a little too much too often.
Yep.
So this is behaviors. It's
Yeah.
really linked to my behaviors, and that's the struggle for me.
Understand. I understand for sure. And thank you for sharing. You're right. It's probably just the behavior that it is too often, not necessarily too much at one time, but too often, too frequent, too much as your daily go-to kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there can be like minor shifts that you can do for sure. But I also want to say and commend you on the fact that you say that you have these 5 kilos that it's not a big issue for you. You're strong, you're healthy, you take care of yourself, you eat whole foods, and you feel good about yourself. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And sometimes vanity pounds is kind of what I call them. Like when you have like, that little last bit of vanity, like I want to look sexy in a bikini, and that's totally okay. Whatever your goal is, like, or I want to look sexy for my partner, or I want to feel good about my whatever it is. That's totally okay too. But the fact that you're already in self worth and confidence that you're healthy and you feel good about yourself. This good. Fantastic. Okay, the 5 kilos we can work on if you want, for sure. But yeah, kudos to you on that. I also, just having twins now 2 weeks ago, my I'll just quick backstory, guys. I started coaching in 1999. Yes, I'm very old. I'm 43. So 1999. So I've been coaching a really long time. And for a long time, because I was a bodybuilder, my concept was don't eat sugar, don't eat salt, don't drink anything, don't, right? And that got me medals, and it was really cool to be an athlete for a while. And then I got cancer, not from this lifestyle per se, but I went through bowel cancer, and I was like, I'm not eating pizza. What am I doing? Like, can I enjoy some of my life? Like, let me just shift this. And I also wanted to shift my coaching style for people, because most people don't want to get on stage in a bikini and flex for people. Like, that's not the concept, right? So how do we enjoy life, balance life at the same time as feeling good and confident about ourselves? So normally, as I mentioned the ice cream before, normally I wouldn't even touch ice cream. It's not a big thing for me. Like I don't care. But I do care about going for a walk with Elizabeth, and she's recovering from a cesarean section, so she can't walk that far. We literally are walking to the ICA and sitting with the locals and having an ice cream with the boys and being like, all right, and now we go home. So the reason I'm telling you that is because I strongly believe life is like, are we enjoying our life as an experience as a whole? It doesn't have to be so regimented and so strict, right? So what's important to you? And that's part of the goal setting we're going to dive into as well. So one thing I said that you probably have a little bit more leniency with now is that your boy, or do you have boys? Did you say you have two?
One boy and a girl.
One boy, one girl, and they're in their 20s or something, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to like eat around their schedule or make foods for them per se, right? Like you can just worry about you and your husband now.
Yeah.
In a sense. So it's a new chapter of life. So as you said, going into 50s, and you want to have new goals. Goals shift and change. So again, thank you for sharing though. Amazing, amazing. Team leaving, welcome, buddy. Did anyone else want to share before we jump into the goal setting side? And if you've already done your goal setting, this is going to be an easy win for you, but I want to dive a little bit deeper than my few questions that I asked in the 10-day group, because there are things to consider that will help you shape your goals into what you actually need. But any other shares before we do that? Joe, Sasha? No?
I'm not good at quick sharings.
Yeah, that's okay, bud. If there's a share you want to share, that's okay. We got time.
I was just thinking that like what you were talking about, I'm on completely opposite page in terms of I am all for those vanity kilos just because I'm 36 already. I don't have a family, and like in terms of like I don't have kids, husband, not sure I'm gonna have one. Not the goal in life. But my point is by the age of 36, I've never been in a perfect body shape, and my distractions have always been people pleasing. I would have an extra bite for the sake of making people feel comfortable around me. I would have this and that. I would lack sleep because I would want to have all these people around me, which it might sound harsh. I realized that I didn't really need in my life. So when we were talking about like this extreme cutting off, for me, that was a natural process that built up over a decade, cutting off my social communities, cutting off going out often, cutting off sugar. I still can't cut on nicotine, but I hope so. I haven't been drinking alcohol for about 12 years, so sugar is not a big issue for me because mostly people crave not even chocolates, but probably a drink or two if they drink, and I don't have this problem. And my thing is like before I'm 40, I want to just show to myself that it's not about like I feel good about myself. I've always felt good about myself, but I don't want to be too relaxed, and I want to see that I can put myself in my perfect shape by the age of 40.
That's cool.
And not because like we talked about it like when I just started and I lost almost 19 kilos by now, and people are like, you don't need to lose more weight. And I just don't want to listen to this because
Yeah,
this is
that's
not
their
about
opinion,
them.
not your opinion. Yeah,
This is not about them.
It's you.
And it's just very important for me to see this through. And I feel like all my consistency, like some people comment, like, how do you do this? I've been building this up for the
No,
past
just say
year or
K2Fit, bud.
something. Yeah, so it's like it's been a really gradual process. It were really baby steps. It was really exhaustingly difficult, and it still is. But I am all for these vanity kilos and like vainness and like pretty sexy outfits and bikinis, just because I missed out on this stage when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell?
Mm.
So the time is now.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome, buddy. You can definitely go for like the vanity and this. Yeah, awesome. Because
Yes,
goals
for
shift and
vanity.
change. Yeah, let's go for vanity. Goals shift and change for sure. There was a time in my life that it was like I have to have a six pack. I have to have a six pack. I have to, like, and those were goals. Right now, I'm embracing my dad bod, I call it. My dad bod, where I hang out with my boys and I eat ice cream. But yeah, no, that's great, bud. Let's do it. And nice to have a goal. Like, in 365, our private community, Peter had this ultimate me by 40 thing, and he did. And we coached him to that point where he could like do photos on that day and like just really celebrate his 40th and feeling awesome and looking his best, kind of. So totally cool. Amazing. Let's do it. All right, team, let's keep going. If you have a question or something, just raise your hand. But I'm going to dive on the decision making for your goals, something you just talked about, Sasha. Life is full of these decisions, and the fact that you said no to people for the drinks or the extra thing because you didn't want to appease other people because you're working for you, right? And people putting these expectations or opinions about your weight or your shape, that's on them. That's their perspective of what they think. I can't tell you how you should look or feel or what you have to know and want for you. Everybody, I'm talking to all of you. Like, if somebody tries to, I say put out your fire. When you're like on this goal setting thing and you're like, I'm going to do this and I feel great and da, 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 and they're like, oh, you don't need to lose more weight. Here, have a glass of wine. Oh, you don't need to lose more weight. Here, have a, I don't know, mug. Apparently, I don't know. I didn't have an ice cream to show you. So decision making for your goals, right? So I believe, and I always believe this, but even more and more as I get older, as I have kids, as time is so precious and life is precious, I choose how I spend my time very, very, very carefully. And I encourage you all to think about the way you spend your time as well. We're very lucky in the lives that we live. I think all of us, we get, we have food, water, roof, nice jobs, probably good life in general, but we still get to choose everything that we want out of life. And I think I would encourage you to think about it this way. So, and this can be just a life lesson as you want it, or for your goals, like specifically for these goals that you're setting. Okay, it's up to you how you take it. But is the thing that you're choosing to put your time into, is it adding value to you? Is it adding to what you want, desire, what makes you feel good? Or is it taking value from you, right? Is it adding to you? Is it taking from you? Because it's one or the other, always. It's really is. If you decide to, instead of going to the gym because that's the healthy habit that you want to make right after work, and the gym's right next to work, so you want to go to the gym, but your friends are going out for drinks or after work or whatever, and you're like, oh, and you get this fear of missing out. So you skip out on the thing that's very important to you, actually, to your goal setting and to your end want, desires, needs, for this quick fear of missing out. Or maybe you're afraid of saying no to somebody because you're going to hurt their feelings. They want you to, oh, but it's my last Wednesday before I leave on Sunday, and we're going to go on Wednesday, and we're going to go out on Friday, and then on Sunday we're going to have a barbecue. Like, these things pile up too. I've had, these situations. So just keeping in mind, is it adding value to you and what you want, or is it taking away from you and what you want? Just keep that in mind when making decisions about time. I think time is our most valuable asset. Yes, we all need money to live and work and support our family and things like that, but without time, there's nothing else, right? So choose wisely. So with that said, we're going to do some goal setting stuff. If you did your homework, you're going to be ahead of the game. We're going to do it with 5 questions, okay? So I would write these out. We're going to do what first, okay? So what are your goals? If you have them already, just write it out again. Doesn't matter, okay? The more you write it, the more you're self-aware, the more you're conscious of it, the more it's in your daily present. So what are your goals? Is it 5 kilos? Is it to get more active? Do you want the sexiest body, whatever that means to you, ever? Is it so you can wear a bikini? Like really narrow it down. Like what does it mean to you? I think Sasha, you mentioned you want the vanity and you want to wear sexy clothes or something like that, you said. So
It's
write
part
that
of
down.
it,
Yeah.
but I really wanna. This is what I exactly told like also my gym coach,
Mm.
the local one.
Mm.
I want my body to match my strong personality. Right now, it's not a good match.
Okay. Yeah. So write that down. Be as specific as you possibly can. What does losing weight mean to you? Does it mean you feel better about yourself walking down the street? Will you walk taller? Will you feel more confident? Um, can you have sex with the lights on with your partner? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, guys. It could be a gazillion things, you know. Uh, so what are your goals? You don't have to share necessarily, guys. I think we kind of shared throughout, but please just take one more minute and write them out. Be as specific as you can. And if you're done, you can move on to the next one, which is why. Why do you want this? This I already kind of delved into with the what, right? It's just an extension of that. But really, why is it important to hit these goals? How is it going to make you feel when you achieve these goals? And the third one I'm going to ask, I'd like you to either raise your hand or put in the chat. Maybe just put in the chat, actually, guys, because we're going to run out of time and I don't want to. I know you guys are busy in your days as well. I just told you to choose your time wisely. So good job at choosing this hour with me in coaching, but I want to make sure you get to your other things. But how? Okay, so we know what your goals are. We know why you want to hit those goals, what it means to you. How are you going to hit those goals? Is it you need to stop snacking as often as you do? Is it you need to increase your output? You need to work out more? Do you need to go on more walks than you already do? You know you. You know your I don't want to say downfalls because again, guys, life is about balance and is about choice, right? But what are the things that are holding you back from hitting goals and how can we shift those? Is it, I don't have the time? If you don't have the time, make the time. Put it in the calendar. Put you first for 20, 30 minutes a day. I have a quick thought on that, just if you guys don't mind me sharing. So often when people say they don't have time, it is a time factor. It's just a priorities factor, actually. It's just about balancing and making sure you get it done. But I always I coach a lot of mums. I know not everyone here is a mum, but I coach a lot of mums. And one of the barriers with mums is often kid guilt and not getting always putting the kids first instead of themselves. And I totally get that. But I also have a theory that there isn't just one first, because most of the time parents, so also I'll use you as an example because I now know you have two kids, you don't love one of them more than the other, right? Or do you? I don't know. This is a trick question. She's like, yeah, I do. Yeah. No, they're both your first, right? Do you see what I mean? Like they're as equally important. They're just different humans. You love them so more than you can possibly express. Probably your husband the same. But what happens is that we often put everyone else first. So this can go for friends, colleagues, uh, gosh, what am I trying to say? Boss, as well, prioritizing people ahead of ourselves. But what if we remind ourselves that we're first just as much as our kids are first, as our partner is first. And so how do we balance that time is really important, I think. I haven't really curated the best way to share that, but I just know now with two little dudes, like I don't love one of them more than the other, and I don't love one of them more than Elizabeth or Elizabeth more. Like love is in abundance, and I love myself too, so I need to make sure to take care of myself as well. So when it comes to like the I don't have time and priorities, like how do you slot in that time for you as well? Because you're also number one. Even though kids are first, I get it. But you're also I'll think of how to elaborate even more later. All right. So did you guys put in the chat how you're gonna do this? Priorities, consistency, Sasha, you did? Okay. So laying out the time for you, consistent, making it happen. Cool. New habits, good. I hope you wrote down what those new habits are, just so you can like be clear on them as well. Guys, you can always share these with me as well after if you want some extra support or questions. So we're gonna jump to the next one. We have two more. So when do you want these goals? So look back at your first question. What are your goals? And remember, we're doing achievable goals. You can't lose 5 kilos in a day because that would mean like chopping off an arm. We don't want to do that. So we're going to do it in a sustainable way. Whatever your goal is, how long do you give yourself? When do you want to do this by? I usually suggest to my members to set out 6-week goals, which is why I put that in the 10-day. 6 weeks is a good amount of time to like really look at, okay, what can I achieve in a 6-week period? But you got to make sure that it's achievable in that time. If you're not sure what's achievable, generally, if it's a weight loss goal, which a lot of people here have, is like 1 pound to 1.5 pounds per week, or like up to 1 kilo, basically. 1 kilo a week is manageable, doable, but it's a hard push if it's a kilo, because that's like 2 pounds, like, right? So just keeping that in mind if it's a weight goal, for example. I also like to set out 10-week goals is a really good time frame. 6 weeks is a really good time to create the new habits, behaviors that you need to shift the body and shift the momentum of your results and your success. And then the week 6 to 10, you really can start to see the change. More often, other people see it first, and then you see it. Which I will recommend if you haven't already, or I didn't do this for the 10-day because a 10-day challenge is very hard to do before and after photos, but I would encourage you to do before photos, so you can see your physical progress as well, because looking at yourself in the mirror every day, you can't see the minor changes that are happening. And it's something that I implemented in 2012 when I first started our K2Fit challenge, which is a 10-week challenge. And almost half of my members at the first challenge, which was like 60 members, didn't want to do the after photos. They took all their before photos. I convinced them. I was like, do this for your progress. I promise you, you'll see results. Just follow the coaching. Trust in the process. You're going to see results. So they did the before photos, but then we got to the end of the 10 weeks and like about half were like, I don't want to do after photos. I feel bad because I probably didn't change very much. I don't feel like I changed very much. And I know how the body works, and I knew that they had followed through with the plan. I said, just go home, do the photos, just trust me, just take the photos. If you didn't see any change, we just know how to shift. But I promise you, you'll probably see change. Everyone went and did photos, everyone saw change. And it was incredible because they were like, oh my God, like I didn't realize. And, you know, like off the back, for example, like you lose a lot of body fat in your lats and your lower back, and you don't see that. You can't see that every day. So when you have those photos too, you put them side by side, you're like, ah, all right, look how good I'm doing. All right. So don't trust the mirror. Don't trust your own eye perception. Get actual physical evidence. Do photos, measurements. If you'd like the photos and measurements guide that I give out, please message either in the group or private and I will send them. Okay. and keep them for yourself. I have members that I've like from 10 years ago that show me that they're like, remember this? And I'm like, yes, because they keep it because you can see your progress. This is smart to do. All right, and the last one, who's going to help you achieve these goals? Who's going to do it for you guys? You guys. Yeah. Ultimately, it comes down to you, right? Ultimately, you are the one that has to put in the work, put in the time, put in the energy, put in the awareness and mindfulness around your day-to-day life, schedule, food, gym, etc. Right? Ultimately, it's you. I can give you all the plans in the world and whatnot if you don't implement them. So please do trust in the process. Do the plans that I give you. If you have any questions, just ask. Do the plans, trust the process, continue on. You will see results. But deep down, it's you that has to dive deep and really want the change for, again, going back to the first question, what goals do you have, right? Before I sum up here, guys, what I like to do in K2Fit in our calls is take a quick selfie, which is like a screenshot because it's nice to share out to people and for you guys. And for me, I just like to keep them. I've just got a wallpaper wall of they're everywhere with the before and after photos on this side and screenshots on the other side. So if you guys don't mind, you can smile, show your cat, whatever you like. I'm going to do it in 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you, team. So you guys, going back to the goals to sum up, you've probably seen me ask and tell you in the chats to share and share more. And the reason I ask this is because the more you are accountable in the group, or even if you just want to shoot me an accountability message, I don't mind. I read all my messages. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But the more you share and the more you put energy out there, the more you get inspired, motivated to stick to it as well. And you see other people doing the same. It is like being in a bit of a team. Ultimately, our results come from the work that we put in. But when you have a team of people that are like, Jiao, let's go, and encouraging you to keep up, it's a lot more inspiring. You would see this also from like group fitness classes that you've been in. Like if you go to a body pump or whatever, and everyone's like struggling, pushing, and you just all of a sudden stop, they'd be like, let's go, because it's a team effort. CrossFit, same, this community style, right? So be as present as you possibly can. Ask for help or questions anytime you need. And before I say goodbye, I want to thank you guys again for being here. I really appreciate it. I love coaching more than anything. It's my first. Screw those little dudes. Just kidding, guys. They didn't hear me. They're over there. They can't hear. No, I love coaching so much. So I'm really glad you decided to spend the time with me. I really enjoyed your time. Is there any questions or thoughts for the last 3 minutes of our call here?
Can we send also like ideas for recipes or?
Absolutely. Share whatever you like. Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally open to other like coaches, recipes and things like that. Just like giving inspiring like yeah, whatever. Like for example, Sasha does keto. I'm not a big fan of following one set diet like this, but she shares her keto treats so people can choose these kind of like treats if they
Sorry
want.
about it.
It's fantastic. I don't mind at all. It's great. It gives people options and understanding. And then
But I do understand the danger of it because I've been consistent with my keto for more than 250 days. But if a person who eats a lot and takes protein shakes on top of that throws in high fat keto treats, you should be very mindful about it. Like, I get it.
Yeah. But and that's the beauty of having a community, but also the beauty of having a coach who knows you and knows what your goals and what you do is, right? Because you can share the keto things in the group, for example, or also you could share a recipe that has like, whatever, and I could have a client ask me, "Oh, is that okay for me to eat, coach?" And I'd be like, "Well, actually your macro balance is this, so let's kind of just shift it this way." But
I think for us it's also more that you have one recipe that you really like, and then you're trying to make it healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to find alternatives, like what can I eat instead of this, because
Yeah.
I really like this, and but
Yeah,
then I put it
absolutely.
out there. We'll see what comes in.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
This will be interesting. I would love to see the recipes because it's fun to like healthify recipes. And also now that I'm in Sweden and I see that you guys have a gazillion milks and fills and all the things that I'm like trying to learn the macro and the split. Like Elizabeth has changed the way she makes a lot of the creamy sauces that I feel are in abundance in Sweden, and I can't take so much, so she's like helped adjust that. So yeah, please.
Good. Perfect.
Great. Any other questions, Dean? Not so far. Okay. I'm also going to run a call at 3 p.m. China time on Saturday if you guys want to be there. I'll put it in the group to remind you what it's about things. That is 9 a.m. I want to say Swedish time, but I will again put it in the group. So if no more questions, you guys have an amazing, amazing day, and I'll see you in the groups, okay?
Thanks.
Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
It was a
Bye.
pleasure, guys. See you soon. Bye.